Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, Muzaffar, last week we have seen the concept of a reflection and what is the use of the reflection and how it is useful in CSharp.NET to get the metadata of a particular class or particular assembly. We have gone through, and at the same time we have seen some other concept in last time class. So now we are moving to the one of the important concept in C Sharp is threading. Okay, so we also seen this similar kind of concept which is called as multicast delegate. So in that we have seen the asynchronous method call execution. So it's kind of similar to that concept. So but let me explain it clearly. So here in C Sharp we have one concept which is called as threading. In CSharp.NET, we have one concept which is called as threading. So let me first give the introduction of threading concept. Then we can then we can proceed with the practical example of a threading.
Okay.
Okay. So this. So basically, how our applications are work or how our process will work is now it will take one request at one time. So at the same time, see now now we are using the Windows operating system. Now we
Yes.
open the couple of applications here. We open the MS Word, we open the this Google Chrome, and we open the this particular Visual Studio. Okay, each and every particular application having their own process.
Okay.
Okay, so this is called as multi-threading. Multi-threading in the sense at one time we are doing multiple operation. I am having call with you on go to meeting, and at the same time I'm opening my MS Word application here, and I am opening the this Visual Studio as well. So multiple things we are doing at one time. So how we are doing that multiple activities at one time is so this Windows operating system is a multi-processor operating system. So where we can perform multiple operation at one time. So we can do the multiple operations within the Windows operating system. So previously when we have um, DOS operating disk operating system when we have that disk operating system, it's a single processing operating system. It will take only one request and it will one application can run in that particular operating system. And later point of time, so as technology growing, they improved the concept of multiple what I can say multiple processing operating multi-process operating system here. Similarly, in our application also we can perform multiple things at one time. Okay, so I gave the example for operating system. So I said operating system is handling the multiple requests. So we are calling this Windows operating system as a multi-threading operating system. Or we can call multi-processing operating system. Process is nothing but a thread. Okay, so here in our C sharp also we can do the same thing. So we can create as many number of threads as we want, and for each thread we can assign one activity that will take care of that particular activity. And if we call the multiple threads but at a time, then automatically I can perform the multiple operations. Okay, so this concept is called as threading in C Sharp.NET. Threading is nothing but a, so it's a what we can say is So it's a lightweight process. Thread is nothing but a lightweight process. I said process, right? So Windows
Yes.
having the multiple processes. So it is taking the responsibility of each application. So to run the Visual Studio, one process will take that responsibility, and to run the this particular MS Word application, that will take that particular processing. And at the same time, whatever the application we opened in our Windows operating system, each will have the different thread or different process. Okay, so that's how it is running parallelly in our operating system. Similarly, same concept. So similarly, we can similarly for our C sharp application also, or C sharp program also, we can do the multiple operation at one time. So that is called as this threading concept. So here in the threading concept, we have a single threading concept. At the same time, we do have the multi-threading as well. So multi-threading will help us to execute a multiple process at one time, whereas single thread will handle only single process. So that's the difference between the single threading and multi-threading. So let me simply summarize the concept of this threading. So we know, like, we have an operating system which is Windows operating system, which will useful for the multi-process operating system. Okay, we can open the multiple application at one time, and we can parallelly work on it. So that's operating system we usually call as multi process operating system. So similarly, that same concept we can apply for our C sharp program as well. That same concept we can apply for our C sharp program as well, which is called as threading. In that threading also we do have two types of threading: single threading and multicast threading. Okay, in single threading, what we have is we can that single thread will can hold only one process, whereas multi-thread can hold the multiple process, and it will help us to execute the multiple operations. So that's where we are working with this threading concept. So how the threading concept will really useful in our application program is, parallelly if I want to perform the same kind of activity, then we can use this multi-threading. So I will give an example here. So I'm writing one program. Uh, from C sharp program, uh, I want to send all of my users as a newsletter. So for example, I'm running one organization where I want to intimate the one of the event details to all my employees. So my employees, having the 1 lakh employees I have. In order to intimate this particular, in order to intimate that particular event details to the each and every employee, so what I will do is, uh, I can send that email from the any of the application. So if I start looping that email IDs, getting the one email ID and sending that email to the particular person, and retrieving the another email and retrieving the another email. So like that we can iterate through the 1 lakh from first record to the 1 lakh record. So in order to send such kind of 1 lakh emails from the any kind of application, so if you assume if you use the one kind of a for loop or for each loop to get the each email ID to send this kind of information, so we can assume how much time it will take.
Yeah.
So it will take more time to send that particular emails. So one person will receive that email at 10 a.m. and another person may receive that email at 11 a.m. because that kind of time it will take to send each and every employee, right? So in order to simplify that process, I can create the 100 thread, okay, each will handle the 100 emails, right? I can create the 100 threads here. Each will handle the 100 emails. Then we can achieve it, right? So parallelly, I will assign that send email task for 100 threads. So each thread will take the 100 emails and it will send accordingly. So parallelly, instead of waiting the 1 mail sending and we can start with the another email. Instead of that process, if we create such kind of thread which can handle a certain number of emails, then we can parallelly work on it. Also, we can reduce our time. Okay. So in such cases, we are using these kind of threading concept. So did you understand, Muzaffar?
Parallelly, for intimating a user, we are creating threads
Yeah.
for
So
100
basic,
emails, creating 100 threads.
correct. So each will one thread can handle the 100 emails. Then we can achieve the that many of the emails, right? So
Yes,
instead of taking the 1 hour of time, in 10 minutes itself all email can send.
yes,
So that's the where we are using this kind of threading concept. So let me repeat again. So basically, when we are going to use this threading concept in our C# programming, so whenever there is a chance, we want to perform the multiple operations at the same time. Multiple operation at the same time, then we are going to use this threading concept. So the concept is simple here, but so we need to understand it thoroughly. So I gave the operating system example, and I take you to the particular C# program, and I'm giving one example saying that if you want to perform the multiple operations at one time, we are using the threading concept. Let's see how we can work in that in our C# program with an example. So, as I already intimated, thread is a lightweight process. A process has at least one thread, which commonly called as main thread. For each of the, as we are saying, thread is nothing but a process. Process will have at least one thread, which we will call as a main thread. So, which actually
yes,
execute that particular application code. A single process can have multiple thread as well. So that is called as multi-threading. If a process can have the multiple thread, that can call as multi-thread. Okay. So let's
yes,
see how we can work with the this threading concept for our example. So what I'm going to do is here we have a method 1 and method 2 which are declared below here. So method 1 performing the 1 to I want to perform the method method 1 will be used to for display the 1 to 10 numbers, and at the same time method 2 will also display the 1 to 10 numbers or 0 to 10 numbers here. Okay, 0 to 10 0 to 9 numbers or 0 to 9 number, we to display that kind of numbers, we have written two methods, method 1 and method 2. So
okay,
for first I'm going to execute that method without the threading concept. Without threading concept, I'm going to execute those methods. So how we can call those methods, as those are the static methods, so we can call those methods by writing the method name itself. By writing the
yes,
method name itself, we can call those methods. Okay, method 1 and method 2. Okay, so once we execute this one, let me execute this process. So what happened? First method 1 get called. First method 1 get called. it displays the 0 to 9 as a 0 to 10 as a numbers, and at the same time it will execute method 2, and it will produce the output as 0 to 10. 0 to 10 and 0 to 10, like that it produces the output here. So I
Yes.
call the two methods. Each method, the purpose of each method is to print the values from 0 to 10. So each method, first method 1 get executed and it print the output like this, and method 2 get, once method 1 get completed, method 2 executed, and it will produce the output as 0 to 10, right? So this is
Yes.
how we can work with a normal method. Same example, what I am going to do is, so with the particular threading concept, we are going to execute those two methods. Let's see how we can work with. So I'm commenting this one. I'm uncommenting this thing. So what I'm going to do is, here in order to work with the threading, what we need to do is we need to use this thread class. We have a class which is called as a thread, which can help us to create the thread object. So we have a
Okay.
class thread to work with our threading concepts in C Sharp. So for that, if you create the object, we can call that particular object whenever we want to execute. So this is the concept here. So in order to work with the threading concept, we need one namespace which is called as system.threading. Okay, in C
Yes.
sharp, in order to work with the in C sharp, in order to work with the particular in C sharp, in order to work with the threading concept, we need one namespace which is called as system.threading. Okay,
Yes.
so how we can work with the threading here? So in order to work with the thread, we need to create the object for our thread class, and we need to pass the particular method which need to be executed while calling this thread object. We need to pass the method as the input parameter, method name as the input parameter for that particular thread class when while you are creating the object for our thread class. So we are creating the object for the thread class, which is the object thread 1. So I am passing the method name method 1 as a parameter for the thread class. Same
Okay.
thing, I'm going to create the one more thread which is called as object thread 2, and which will take the method 2 as a parameter. Okay. Now what
Okay.
I'm going to do is, here I am just printing some kind of related information about this thread. So how we can print the relevant information of a thread is, so we can give the object one dot name. We can give the particular name for our thread. For our purpose, if we want to identify the thread as a thread with particular name, what we can do is object thread one dot name equal to particular name we can give it. So whenever you want to refer that one, what you can do is you can simply refer that particular object with the name. Okay, so
Okay.
that's where we can use this object thread dot name, thread object dot name. We can give any kind of name for our thread. And if you want to get the details of a thread, how we can get the details is, so object one dot name, which will give the name of the method, and this object thread one dot is alive. That means it will give the false or true whether this particular thread is alive or not. Okay, and also this particular thread can have the priority. So if we want to set the priority, we can able to set the priority for our thread as well. So for our thread class, if we want to set the priority, then it is possible to set the priority as well. Then it's a possibility to set the priority. Okay, and what I am going to do here is so thread object 1 dot start and thread object 2 dot start. So on top what we did, we just call the method 1 and method 2. Method 1 get called, and once it is done, method 2 get called. So this approach, what we called last time we had a discussion, this kind of approach means if first method, once first method is getting executed, then only method 2 will get start. That concept what we will call, last time we had a concept called synchronous method execution or
Synchronous.
asynchronous method
Once
execution. Yes, sir. So
first one gets good after second one.
yeah, this is called as a synchronous method execution. Okay, so here
Okay.
same thing happened here. While working with this particular normal methods, first this get executed and it print the output as 0 to 10, and again it got executed, it print the output 0 to 10. Okay, now what we are doing is we are creating the thread object for our methods, and we are executing those thread with these method calls. Object thread 1 dot start, then that particular method execution will get start, and object 2 dot start, then object 2 dot that particular method 2 will get execute. Now see the
Okay.
output here. Now we can see the output. So current thread information, thread name is method 1 thread, and thread status is false, and priority is normal. That priority is normal here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, as it is executed straightforward, that's fine. Now we are going to, now I am going to set the priority of my second thread as highest priority. So we do have two threads here. My first thread is object thread 1. Second thread is object thread 2. Okay, second thread is object 2 here. Now what I'm doing is normally how it is execute. So first thread will get execute, and once it is done, second thread will get execute. But now what I'm going to do is here I'm setting the priority. For this thread 2, I am setting the priority as highest. So we do have the
Okay.
values like this. For the thread priority, we do have the values like this. So above normal, below normal, highest, low, normal, like this we have the values for our thread priority. So for this what I am going to set is highest. So now let's start the, so now let's start executing the program. So it's get started 9. See how it is getting executed. Let me, let's first comment this one. Execute. Okay. So now I'm going to set the highest priority. So it is getting execute like this. Normal. So what we can do is No, this is not the correct. Jira 1, 2, 3 thread. What I can do is let me change the method value from method to get executed. To current thread. Zero to 10 and 0 to 10. Method 1 and method 2. It is behaving like this. Threading. Thread class. Object 2 dot priority. Let's see the priority.
But do we need to give the name and this alive option and
No, no,
priority option same
no.
for method 2?
No, it's not like this. Basically, what I need to do is I need to move this to the top. Then it will get
Yes.
execute. Now the priority is highest here. So, but still it
Okay.
is only calling post one. Let's remove these two. Method 1, method 2 only executing, but it's not the correct. Method 1 and method 2 only it is calling. To executed, method 2 executed. Thread we have created object method 1 and method 2, and we are setting the priority here, which is third one, and this is higher priority, and we are calling this object thread 1 object thread 1 dot start and object thread 2 start, and which is good only. Oh man, see, now it got changed. So method 1 and parallelly it is getting execute here. So method
Yes.
1 is started, and again instead of waiting the method 2 get started here, and last method 2 continue, method 1 continuation is printing here.
Okay.
So let me try, but we can't get the same output when you execute it another time. So it is depends on processing information only. So what we can do is so here we with this example we can't see this. Let me change this to some other value 1000. With such kind of thing we can able to see the difference.
Yes.
So it gets started from 2 and 1 gets started and 2 gets started and in middle 1 and in middle 2 parallelly it is executing. It is not waiting for the one method of execution here.
Okay.
So as I am giving it is a very less number, we can't able to see such kind of difference here. So
Yes.
as the numbers are getting increased by 1,000 or 2,000 or 10 lakhs or 10,000, 1 lakh, then we can see that such kind of difference.
Yes.
Okay. So basically what we are doing here is previously same kind of stuff which we already followed with the multicast delegate. So in that multicast delegate what we did is we have created the methods and
Method.
we take the help of the delegate to parallelly execute those methods without waiting for another method. Okay, at the time we explained the concept called as asynchronous method call execution, synchronous method call execution, and asynchronous method call execution. This is called as synchronous method call execution. So even though if you change that numbers as 1,000 or 10,000 or 20,000, once method 1 get completed, then only it will go to the method 2 if I follow the synchronous method call. So in asynchronous method call, it will not wait for the execution process of a one method to the another method. It will not wait for that dependency. It doesn't have any kind of a dependency in execution process. So same thing what we are doing here is we are creating the object for our thread class with the name obj thread1, and I'm passing the one method name as the parameter. So the parameter what we are passing is a method1 as a parameter. And for this thread we can set the priority. So which thread you want to execute first, that we can set it here. So thread 1 we can give the normal priority, and thread 2 if you want we can give the highest priority. And how we can get execute the that particular thread is we have a start method, so from which we can get execute this particular thread. So once you call the start method of a thread, so the method which is assigned on top will get execute. So same thing, so it is displaying the 0 to 1000 as a number, and method 2 also displaying the 0 to 1000 as a numbers. But when we execute this one with the threading which follows the asynchronous method call, then we can see the difference here. So method 1 will keep on executing, at the same time method 2 also will keep on executing here. So such a kind of difference we can see while working with the threading. So that's where I initially said if we want to execute the multiple operations at one time, we can use this threading concept. Okay. So did you understand, Muzaffar? Same concept which we already seen in the thread in the concept of asynchronous method call using the delegates. Asynchronous method call using the delegates. Internally, that asynchronous method call will follows the same threading, but we are explicitly working with our example in this particular threading concept. So did you understand? Muzaffar, did you understand? You since you are in mute.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I was saying, can you explain one more time this one?
Yes, yes. So basically, the purpose of a threading is to perform the multiple operation at one time. Okay,
Yes.
so without waiting the other method execution, if I want to parallelly perform a multiple operation, we are working with the thread. So same kind of thing we already did in the concept of asynchronous method call with the delegates. Delegates
Yes.
also internally will use the same threading concept, but there we haven't write any code related to the threading. But if we want to explicitly write the coding using the threading concept, then we need to write like this. So how we need to work with the thread is first and foremost thing, we need to have the system.threading as a namespace, and for this thread class you need to create the object. While creating the object, you need to pass the method which need to execute while we call this thread.start method. So that method name we need to mention here, and if you want to set any kind of priority, we can set like this. And if you want to call that particular method, how we can call? We have a thread object which has the start method. By using the start method, we can execute our thread. Okay, so we can
Yes.
execute our thread. That's where we are working with the threading concept. Okay, so here
Yes.
what we did is we have created two methods. So one method will help us to print the 0 to 0 to 10 as a. So just wait a minute. So how we can work with the thread here is, so we need to create the thread object, and by passing the method name, and we can set the priority, and we can call that method by using the start method. So once you call the start method, then what will happen is it will call that particular method asynchronously. So that's where we can see the output. Parallelly method 1 output we are able to see, and parallelly method 2 output also we can able to see. So that's the concept of threading. So threading is nothing but if you want to perform the multiple operations at one time, then we can use the threading concept. So that's the motivation and that's the use of a threading.
Okay.
So did you understand?
Yeah, performing multiple operation
At one time.
parallelly
Yeah,
at
at
one time,
one time is called as
called as multi-threading.
yeah, is
First we are
multi-threading exactly.
Yeah, first we are declaring the methods. When creating the threads, we are passing the parameters as the method, and then we are setting the priorities, and then we are starting the thread.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Then at the bottom we need to compulsory give the for each statement in order to
No,
execute
no,
the method
I'm
on.
just it's a normal method where I took the example to explain the concept.
Okay.
So that's my this might be the any kind of example. I mean to say I already gave you one example saying that if I want to send the multiple emails to the multiple users at one time, so I can create one method to send the 1 to 100 email, 1 to 1,000 emails. Another method I can create to execute the 1,001 to 2,000, and another method I can give the 2,001 to 3,000. Like that I can split all my method, and for each and every method, if you create the thread object, and if you call all the threads, automatically all threads will call and it will send the email to the particular persons. Parallel it will
Okay.
happen,
Okay.
right? So that's where I gave an example here.
Okay.
So this is the concept of threading here. So so let's move yeah, that day I told you, right? This is the concept of threading. So we have the background thread that are similar, and we need to see one concept which is called as a thread life cycle. So thread life cycle will be like this. So when we have a thread, when we just create this thread, when we just create a thread, it will be in the it will be in the position, or it will be in the state which is called as unstarted state, which will be called as unstarted state.
Okay.
State, which will be called as unstarted state. Once we call that start method, okay, it will
Yes.
get into the ready state. And at any point of time, we can keep our thread in sleep state, or we can keep our thread in wait state, or we can keep our thread in block state.
For when in the form of a normal priority.
No, it's not. This is not the normal priority. So here, how we can do that is, here we have the options here. So for example, if we have a thread, I have a thread here. So my thread having the object thread1 and thread2. Here for the thread class, we have one method which is called a sleep method. And if we provide the
Okay.
2000 milliseconds, it will wait your thread till 2000 milliseconds. Okay.
Okay.
So the such kind of such time it will wait for your time.
Okay.
Okay.
For that thread, it will wait for 2,000 milli.
Milliseconds. So for it will wait for you. It will not do any operation for such kind of a given time.
Okay.
So in that process, we are using the concept of that sleep. We are using the concept of sleep here. So as I said, thread is having the unstarted state, and once it gets started, it will be in a ready state, and at any point of time we can keep our thread as a sleep state, or we can keep our particular thread as a wait state, or we can keep our threadings particular thread as block state. Means I can block my thread as well. We have a blocked method and we can block it, and at the end it will what it will do is, it will be in a, once it is blocked, it will be in a automatically dead state. Once it blocked, it will automatically in the dead state. So this
Like
is
in
the,
Madan way, in sleep thread dot sleep 2,000 millisecond.
yes.
So will it execute till that time, or
No, no,
it will
will it
wait
not
till the.
execute? That will
Okay, it
not
will not.
execute in that particular time. It will
Okay,
not
okay,
execute at that particular time. So if
okay,
you haven't give that particular wait method, it will keep on executing. But if you want to wait that particular thread for some time, you can use that sleep method.
okay.
So that's the use of the thread life cycle. So basically thread life cycle, thread initially will be in the unstarted state. Once we call the thread dot start method, it will be
Ready state.
in ready state. So once it will be in ready state, at any point of time we can we can set our thread as a set our thread as a sleep state, or we can set our thread as a wait, or we can block our thread as well. So once it is blocked, it will be in a dead state. So at any point on, for example, if I have used this sleep method for the 200 milliseconds, after that I can resume my thread. We do have a resume method, so that will help us to resume the thread. That will help us to resume the thread here. So that is the process of thread life cycle. So let's see, is there any important concept of thread or not? So these are not that much of important. So this is all about the C sharp, importance and C sharp the concept, Muzaffar. Last time we had a discussion, right? So only
Yes.
we was having the pending, pending, which is called as this one.
Yes.
In
Thread one.
thread one, so we just covered that one. Let me summarize the thread concept. So basically the intention of using the thread is to perform the multiple operation at one time. To perform the multiple operation at one time. So in order to do that one, what we need to have is we need to use the name. In order to work with the threading, we need to use the name system.threading, and here we can here we can here we can use the thread start method in order to execute our thread. Okay,
Okay.
so that's the concept, and so give me a
And
minute.
in this one, in this, we don't need to uncomment these methods, Madan bhai.
Where?
This in top one, like in normal page without thread implementation. This synchronous method is.
In synchronous method?
Yeah, we
What?
don't need to uncomment this because we are passing these methods in the thread class.
Correct, correct. So if you want to synchronously work, you no need to write this threading at all.
This one.
So if you
Okay.
want to synchronously work with your functions, you no need to write these things at all.
Okay.
Okay. But if you want
Okay.
to parallelly execute your method, you need to write this much of code to parallelly execute.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the concept of C sharp.
Multi.
So yeah, that's threading only. So let me move you. Let me move to the another concept, which is called as ASP.NET. So
Okay.
basically, we have the concept. It's not the concept. It's a technology. Okay. So let me first give the introduction of ASP.NET. So previously, how we have the ASP.NET is without before introduction of the ASP.NET. Before introduction of the ASP.NET, in market we was having only ASP, which is the active server pages, which is a web technology where we can build our website. Before introduction of the ASP.NET, so we do have one Microsoft technology which is called as ASP. The full form of the ASP is active server pages. Active server pages. At the same time, from the Java, they have the one concept which is called as JSP, Java server pages. Active server pages and Java server pages. So active server pages will be the will came from the Microsoft, which will be useful to develop the websites. At the same time, Java also having their own web technology, which is called as JSP to build the websites. Okay, so later point after at the point at the time of that ASP, we were using the kind of scripting languages like VB script or JavaScript to work with the database. In order to work with the database, in order to work with the database, what we have is uh, we do have a web technology. We do have a web technology which is called as ASP. At that time, we are using couple of web technologies or scripting technologies which are called as VB script or JavaScript. With this VB script, we were able to write kind of code to contact with the database to develop the dynamic web applications. Okay, so that was the history of the ASP here. Okay, so let me summarize the history of the ASP and ASP.NET. So previously, in order to develop the any kind of web application like this one, so any kind of web application like it might be the msn.com, or it might be the google.com, or it might be some other website. If you want to develop such kind of website, what you need to do is you need a web technology, and if you need a uh, database to get the dynamic data. So we can also develop, see, for example, if I type like this, so google.co.in, the web page is display here. I can develop this web page in several ways. So from the Microsoft perspective, I can take the ASP.NET or, ASP, or from the Java perspective, they can use the JSP or some kind of servlets or some kind of web technology they can use. And from the PHP also, we can able to develop this kind of website. And from Joomla or some kind of WordPress also, we can able to develop such kind of websites. Okay, in this kind of website development also, we do have two categories: static web pages and dynamic web pages. So are you understanding, Muzaffar? Static web
Okay.
pages and dynamic web pages. Static web pages means so the content whatever I am seeing in my web page, it will not automatically change. It will not automatically change based on the request. So every time that content will be the same only.
Okay.
Okay. So such kind of web pages are called as static web pages. Such kind of web pages are called as static web pages. So dynamic web pages in the sense the content of that particular web page will be changed based on the user input or user criteria. So such kind of websites are called as dynamic websites. Okay,
Okay.
so there are two categories: static websites and dynamic website. In static website, we can have the same content for each and every user, which will be same for everyone. Okay, for example, take one example here. For example, if I log in my Gmail account, I can able to see only my emails, right? That is
Yes.
related to my account. That
Yes.
is related to my account. But if you log in into your Gmail account, you can only see your emails only. So that means that content is different based on the user login credentials.
Yeah.
Okay, so how they are maintaining such kind of thing is based on your username and password, they are maintaining your all history of the data, and once you log in, based on your detail, they are pulling that information from the database, and they are displaying as the emails for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is those are called as the dynamic web pages. Means if I based on my user details, I can able to see my emails. Okay, but if you see any kind of, if you visit any kind of website, for example, I have website which representing my store.
Yes.
So I have a store. I just want to create one website for my store. If someone visit my store, they can see where is my store and what are the feature, what are the items are available in my store. That details I want to put. Okay, so if I want to build such kind of thing for each and every website, for each and every user, the details are same only, right?
Yes.
So my store address and the whatever the items are available in my store, that is same for the every user.
Yes.
Okay, so that's same for the every users here.
Yes.
Just wait a minute. Just wait a minute, Muzaffar.
Okay.
Okay, so let me repeat again. There are two types of website development. One is the static website development and another one is a dynamic website development. In dynamic website development, I gave an example of Gmail account. So based on that, based on your login credential, we can see such kind of details. Okay. And after that, we do have the static web pages. Means that is same for the each and every user. In the terms of developing the dynamic website, we need a web technology, and at the same time we need a one language to interact with the database. We need a language to interact with the database. Okay, so but in static page we don't need any language. We can simply build that kind of website using any kind of web technology. So in any kind of web technology, in the sense, I can use the HTML, or I can use the ASP.NET, or I can use the classic ASP or JSP or PHP. Like that, whatever the web technologies we have, we can use that one. Okay,
Okay.
so these are all the things which is fundamental for our website development. Okay, so for even though I have used the ASP.NET or PHP or JSP, the content, whatever the content we are what whenever we request that web page, the browser, which means this a Chrome browser or Internet Explorer or some kind of other browsers which are available in the market, they can only understand one language, which is called as HTML, Hypertext Markup Language.
Okay.
So the web browser can only understand one language, which is called as Hypertext Markup Language. So even though I have developed my website using the ASP.NET, while retrieving that information and displaying in the form of a web page in the browser, that need to convert in the form of HTML. That
Okay.
need to convert in the form of HTML. So then only I can able to see that kind of information. Okay.
Okay.
So let me give the so let me give the introduction of HTML. So here we do have the
Like
HTML things. So here what we have is HTML.
Yeah, Madan bhai.
Yeah,
Yeah, in web pages you said there are two ones, static and dynamic. In static one, the information will be same for information will be same.
yeah,
In dynamic information will be changed when a
yeah,
user requests.
correct.
Okay.
So here to implement such kind of dynamic web pages, we need one language which is called as which are called like JavaScript or VB script or C Sharp, Java, some any kind of language we need to use. Okay, in order to dynamically get that information into your application.
Okay.
Okay, if it is a static, I can simply use the HTML only. So I no need any other language here. Simply I can use the HTML to build my website. Okay,
Okay.
to build the website, we can only have HTML only. Like with HTML also we can build any kind of website. But the thing what we need to do is if I build the one website with the HTML only, it doesn't have the dynamic information for each and every user. That information will be the same only. So by doing like if we want to build one application which need to get the information from the database and dynamically update our information, then what we need to do is we need to prepare the dynamic web pages by using some other kind of languages other than the HTML. Means I need to use the ASP.NET with the C Sharp or Java JSP with the Java or PHP with the JavaScript or VB script. Some languages we need to use it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Other than HTML, which will be developed using any other language, is dynamic, and
Yes.
which is using only
Even
HTML
yes.
is a static.
No. Even using the HTML also, if you use any kind of HTML plus any kind of language also, we can implement the dynamic web pages.
Okay.
Only HTML if you consider, I can only develop the static pages. Okay,
Okay.
let me give the kind of information here. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is, so initially what we have is, we have only HTML as a web technology.
Okay.
HTML as a web technology, okay, which will be used for developing the website. Okay, and later point of time what happened is from uh, from they introduce Microsoft they introduce one technology which is called as ASP along with one language, some languages like VB script.
Okay.
Okay, so there we can call this as a dynamic dynamic website. Okay, so here only HTML, this will be the website, static website. We can call it as a
Static.
static website. And at the same time, from Java, they have JSP, and they use some other technologies like
Servlet.
JavaScript, JavaScript, or servlets, servlets, LTS. Okay, so like this, and at the same
Okay.
time they have the PHP as well. They have their own technologies. Okay, so this is the thing here. after that, Microsoft extended the development with the ASP.NET. At the same time, they also extended their development with the Spring and Hibernate, like this. Okay.
Okay.
So, and PHP, I'm not sure what is the enhancement on that particular part. This is how. So here, if I only take the help of HTML, if I only take the help of HTML, that will be the only static web page. Okay. Even for HTML, if I add one language, JavaScript or jQuery, okay, or what AngularJS, then we can call this also as a dynamic website, right? So
Okay.
only HTML, if I consider, that will be only static web page. For this HTML, if I add any kind of language like JavaScript, jQuery or AngularJS, I can able to develop the dynamic website.
Okay.
So this is the history of web technologies. But even though Microsoft introduced the JSP or ASP.NET, Java introduced the JSP or Spring or Hibernate, and PHP introduced their own technologies, ultimately browser means whatever the Google Chrome or whatever the Internet Explorer or whatever the Opera or some kind of browsers available in the market, they can only understand HTML code only. Even though I
Okay.
developed my website in the ASP.NET, while it displaying that information, this browser will convert that particular ASP.NET code in the form of HTML.
Okay.
In the form of HTML. What does it mean is browser can only understand the language which is called as HTML. Even though,
Any browser.
sorry,
Any browser.
any browser, even it's not for the Google or even it not for the Opera or even it not for the Mozilla Firefox or Internet Explorer. So all will understand only one language which is called as HTML.
Okay.
So even though I develop my website with rich look and feel or some kind of animations or everything in ASP.NET, while displaying that information, it need to be in the format of HTML. So we no need to do anything for that. That conversion we no need to take care of it. So this browser only will take care. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the kind of history of HTML, ASP.NET and JSP. So let's move to the concept of HTML. So the first and foremost thing what we need to understand with the HTML is the full form. So hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language is the full form of a HTML. Hypertext markup language. Okay.
Okay.
So what is this markup in the sense? It's a scripting language. We can say like this. Okay. So the basic form of the the basic form of the HTML code is the basic form of the HTML code is it need to start with the doc type, and it need to start with the HTML tag, and it need to have the head tag, and it need to have the under the head tag it need to have the title tag, and after that we can have the body tag which represent the body of the HTML page, and we can have the closing tag of HTML at the same time closing tag of body here. So the basic structure of a HTML is it need to have doc type. So what is the use of this doc type is doc type represent the HTML versions. Doc
Okay.
type represent the HTML version. So we have seen C Sharp having the C Sharp 0, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 3.5. Like that we have the version for C Sharp. Similarly for the HTML also they have the versions. Okay.
Yes.
For example, I build my application. I build one website using the HTML code. I build my website using the HTML code, and I want to tell my browser go and use only this version for my web page. So I want to intimate or giving the hint to the browser go and use only particular version of a HTML for my web page. Then where we
Okay.
can define that information is here. Doc type HTML. HTML, if I represent the doc type HTML, here if I just put as the HTML, whatever the latest version it has, that information will get it here. HTML current
Okay.
version of HTML current version of HTML is HTML5. For example, if I want to use the HTML4, then that version we need to mention HTML 4.0, that particular schema information we need to mention. Then
Okay.
your browser can understand and use the only that version of HTML for your code.
Okay.
For your website, only it will use that kind of version. But if you haven't, even though if you remove this doc type, it will work. It will not giving any error. Okay,
Okay.
but the problem is, but the problem here is, so for example, I develop my HTML page with the version of 4.0, but if I haven't give this particular doc type, the problem here is it will convert our web page to the latest version of HTML. So
Okay.
previously assume that there will be one HTML tag which might be not available in the latest versions. Then I lose
Mm-hmm.
my functionality, right?
Yes.
So that's where whenever you are working with the kind of HTML, so the best part what we can do is we need to define the doc type for our HTML. So which
In doc
represent.
tab, we need to mention the version.
Yes, yes, correct. So
Mm.
that kind of version, if you mention that web page will only use the that version of HTML, then we will not lose any kind of our functionalities.
Okay.
So that is the one, and it has the opening for each and every tag. So this we will call it as a tag.
Okay.
Opening what we can see is a less than symbol and greater than symbol, and in between if you mention anything that will represent in HTML as a tag or
Okay.
element, HTML element or HTML tag. Okay, so for HTML we have the starting node as HTML and ending node which will represent this symbol slash.
Okay.
So to end the particular HTML, how I can represent is a slash.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the opening no, opening element or opening tag, and this is the closing element.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in between that we do have this is the top level of HTML node or element. Under that we have the head tag. Okay, which represent the title or some kind of scripts or some kind of uh, scripting some kind of scripts or some kind of meta tag information. So if I want to put all, I can put here itself. All I can put in the head tag. So what is the important of this title here is, so here, so the title where it can be represented is here. So this is the
Okay.
title for this page. They gave the title as Google.
Okay.
Okay, so for any of the page, if you see some, if they don't give any title, by default it will take the page name itself. So that
Okay.
title, if you want to give, you can represent here. Okay, and we can close the header tag, and we do have the body tag where we can represent the code here. Whatever the things we write in the body tag, that only will be displayed in the HTML page.
Okay.
Whatever the code we have written in the body tag, that only will be represented in the web page. So this will not represent in the web page. Okay, will it see, are we able to see here? No, right?
No.
So it only see on the top. Okay, so
Okay.
if you want to see my information in the browser body section, where I need to write my code is, I need to write my code in between the opening and closing of the body tag. In
Body.
between
Okay.
opening and closing of the body tag. Okay, so let's write one sample code here so that we can able to understand. So here,
Okay.
to write the code in to write the code using the HTML. So what we can do is, we can write the code in two ways again. Like while starting up the C sharp, I started to write sample code in the notepad, right, with the
Yes.
.cs extension. Similarly,
Yes.
we can able to write our code using the notepad as well. So let's see how we can write. Then we can move to the
Visual Studio.
Visual Studio here. So I'm taking the notepad. I'm pasting the code here. So doc type and the HTML opening opening node and HTML closing element, and header tag, and under the header tag we have the title tag, and the body tag under the in between body tag, whatever the code we want to write, we can write this.
Okay.
So this H1 represents the header tag. H1 represents the header tag. That means whatever the code, whatever the heading I want to represent, if it need to have the bigger size of letters, then we can use the H1. We do have the uh, heading tags from H1 to H6. H1 is the
Okay.
very bigger size compared to the H2, and H3, H4, H5, H6 will be the smaller size compared to the other one. Okay,
Okay.
so this P represents the paragraph. So if I want to write paragraphs in my program, then what we can do is, then I can use the paragraph here, P tag. So each and every one
Okay.
having the opening and closing here. Okay,
Okay.
so while I'm saving this one, select the all files and sample HTML. Sample HTML, I'm going to give that with .html extension, and click on
Okay.
my document here. So I'm going to put it in desktop, save. You can't save to the PC.
This
Okay, so it is desktop and save. So this got saved here, and when I
yes.
go to my sample, so it's represent the HTML page, right?
Yes.
And if I click on this one, if I right click on this and click on open and go to the select the particular browser, then I can see my output, right?
Yes.
So I gave my title as page title. So what I gave? So page title. Title what I gave here? Page title. Okay.
Okay.
And what heading I gave? So what information I can able to see here? So only information which I have written in the body section.
Okay.
First heading and the first paragraph. So if I change this one heading for 5H5 and here end tag also if I put the H5 Control S, okay, my output got changed, right?
Yes.
Previously it was very bigger size. Okay,
Yes.
now size got reduced here.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how we can work with the HTML. Okay,
Yes.
so so HTML is a hypertext markup language which can be useful to build the websites, to build the web pages or website. We can build it. Okay, let's go to the other topics here. So each and everything I have explained here. So what does it mean? What is the representation of a doc type, and what is this HTML, head tag, title, body, H1 and P. So that all I have mentioned here. So and also we have the versions. HTML 1991 it got introduced. Later point of time 2, 3, 4 and XHTML and HTML5. Okay, so HTML5 is the latest version which got introduced in 2014.
Okay.
Okay, and here is the sorry.
Yeah, Madan bhai, with HTML plus ASP.NET, we can able to develop a dynamic page also.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
basically, our HTML, we are going to reuse the HTML code in ASP.NET. So
Okay.
ASP.NET is a server-side technology. So where
Okay.
it's an extension of HTML basically.
Okay.
So still we are taking the some code of HTML, and along with that code we are adding some more features in ASP.NET.
Okay.
Okay. So here we do have HTML tags. Okay. So we have a doc type which represent the version information. We have a tag. A tag means anchor tag. So A tag means anchor tag which represent the hyperlink, which represent the hyperlink. So let's hold here with this one. So we have seen this example with the HTML. We have seen this example using the notepad. So same thing if I want to write in the Visual Studio, what we need to do is go to the Visual Studio. So once we go to the Visual Studio, now instead of taking the C# project, what we now we can do, not now we can take the project with the HTML.
Okay.
So basically, I'm giving the introduction of HTML, which will help us to understand the ASP.NET.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if I directly start with the ASP.NET without giving any introduction of HTML, so that's difficult to understand.
Okay.
So I'm just
Understood.
before jumping into the ASP.NET, I'm giving kind of idea on this one. So go to the file and new. and here select the project. Similarly to the C#, select the project.
Your system got a lot of data, it seems, man.
What is it?
You have a lot of data in this system, I think.
Yeah, it's become slow here. So basically, previously we used to work with the C# as a node. Now what we can select is okay. Now what we can select is the web. What is this? Now what we can select is a web here. Instead of C#, under the C# only. So instead of select the console application, what we need to select is a web application. Okay, select the ASP.NET and web application 1 and click on OK. So it will ask what type of project you are going to work. So web form or MVC application or web API application or single page application or Facebook application. So based on interest we can choose the particular application. So for now what I'm going to do is I'm just selecting the empty one here and I'm click on OK. Okay, so once it created the project, so we can able to see the solution like this. For this one, right click on the project and go to the add option. For this one, right click on the project, go to the add option and select the, here we have
No,
the HTML page or new item or whatever we want, we can select it. So let's go to the new item here and select the HTML page and give the name of your HTML page. So and give the name of your HTML page and sample we are going to give sample.html. Click on add button.
okay.
So that HTML page will be added here. So previously what we did for C# we used to add the classes. For website we need to add the pages, means whether it is the HTML page or whether it is the ASP.NET page, we need to add the pages. So in C#,
The pages.
yeah, in C# we are used to add the classes. Okay,
Yes.
so this is how. So by default, when we add any kind of HTML page, it has the sample code like this. It
Okay.
has the sample code, and whatever the title we want to input, sample web page, like this we can give it, and whatever the body content we want to write, we can give it like this. Okay, so here I'm going to explain what are the, so we do have the lot many tags available in the ASP, sorry, HTML. So but I'm going to give the what are the important tags available in the HTML and which will be useful for our development. Okay, for
Okay.
that what we need to do is let's take the anchor tag. So means a tag which represent the anchor. Okay, so in body section what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the a tag. So if I place the a, automatically I can see some kind of information. A tag
Yeah.
href, it has one option which is called as represent, and that means hyper h reference means uh,
Hyperlink reference.
that means that hyperlink, not the hyperlink reference, that the website reference usually we can say.
Okay.
So that reference what we can see here is that name of the website, like http colon
Google
google.com,
Docs.
okay, like this. And if it needs any kind of attributes, we can define like this. So we do have some kind of attributes, so whatever we need we can define like this. Okay, so one of the attribute which we can use is a target attribute. Okay, so we do have a target attribute like this. So if I use the target as a blank, if someone click on the particular hyperlink, this page will be open in the another particular page in the same browser. It will be open as the another tab. Okay,
Okay.
if I use the parent, it will use the it will open in the same page, but that will be having the different mechanism. So in somewhere in most of the in some of the web applications, so we can see some kind of behavior saying that go to the top, go to top, go to bottom, like that we can see the options here. So if
Yes.
someone click on that particular go to bottom, it will down to the bottom itself. And if someone click on go to top, it will move to the top instead of scrolling. Okay,
Yes.
so that's where we are going to use this parent option. So if I want
Okay.
to use this blank, then I can select. If I use the underscore cell, then it will open that page in the same page itself. Let's start with the cell. And for that hyperlink, whatever the name we want to give, we can give it Google website. Okay, so we can save this one. And how we can run this application is similarly click on but you can select the what browser you want to see your output, whether it is Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, or some whatever the browsers are installed in your machine, all can be listed here. So you can choose your particular browser and you can click on continue. So click on this option.
Google Docs.
Okay, so here we can able to see the Google website. So that I
Yes.
click. And if I click on the Google website, then the web page I can open in the same page itself. Okay,
Okay.
will it move to the another tab? No, right? We were in same page only. Let's close
Yes.
all these things, and I'm going to click on this way. So will it open any other tab here? No, it's open
No.
in the same page itself. So if
Okay.
I change this thing underscore cell, if I change this thing to the blank here, okay, and if I go and refresh my page, if I go and refresh my page and click on this one, so instead of opening the same page, it now open in the another tab.
Okay.
So that kind of functionality we can able to work with this anchor tag. So
Okay.
which is the useful one for our website development.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one thing. And
Madan bhai,
yes.
sorry to interrupt you. I always seen a lot of from my childhood or whenever I'm seeing this HTML.
Mhm.
Why we write this HTML, XML, and HTTP W3? Who is this one? What is this information?
So this means here we are on top we are specifying the version of information. Here
Okay.
XML in this what it representing is it's a kind of for each and every for each and every web technology some standards need to follow. Even
Okay.
that particular for example, I'm particular developer and I want to develop one web technology for the others. I'm
Okay.
trying to develop one web technology, so to to useful for the others to develop their website. Even I
Okay.
am developing my particular technology which will be useful for the others. It need to have some kind of standards, then only they will approve my new technology into that particular forum. Okay, so that's where we are using called as W worldwide. That full form I just forgot. Worldwide Web Consortium, WWW. So W3
Okay.
Worldwide Web Consortium. So we have that one which need to be approved your particular technology.
Okay.
So that's where we are defining this one. So here they are mentioning that whatever the code they have used, which represent the worldwide represented organization in the year of 1999, that coding standard.
Okay.
So that's where we are representing this information.
Okay.
So this is the one. And coming to this tags again here, so we have this anchor tag, and after that useful one for us is this one audio tag, which is the new in the HTML5. Means if I place my audio tag, then I can listen kind of a music.
Okay.
If I place my audio tag in the web page, then I can listen the music. I can't see the video, so I can listen the music. So such
Okay.
kind of thing which we want to provide, then we can use the audio tag, which is only available
HTML.
from the HTML5 only. Okay.
Okay.
And we do have the other thing is we already seen this body. So
Body.
this break tag. Okay, so I want to give the break for each and every line. Then I can use this break tag. For example, how we can use this one is here is my application. So I'm writing something. So here first I want to display it as a Google website, and I want to have a break. Okay, and after that I want to write some other kind of thing. So like H1 sample thing. Okay. So if I try to execute this one, so first it is coming like this, and the second line we can able to see this one. So let's do something here. I am going to remove this one. I'm saving the file here. So even I have written these two anchor tag and the particular H1 tag in two different lines. Let's see what happened here. So will it execute it? Let's see. Okay, basically that one will use this one. Let's remove this one for now. Basically H1 tag will have the break tag by default. So even though we have written our anchor tag and the some other content in the second line, but my output is not looking same. It's is coming along with this Google website only. Okay.
Okay.
In such kind of situation, if I want to display this same thing text in the different line, what I can do is I can use one tag which will be like br tag, which will give the break for two lines. This is one line and this is one line. For these two lines, it will give one break. Okay. So now if I go and execute this one, I can move my sample thing to the next line.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how we can write our break tag. Okay. So the button tag. So this is important. So button tag in the sense, so if I want to place a button to click and perform some kind of operation, then we can use the button tag. So in my HTML page, if I have a registration form and below I want to put one button where I want to give a name as register, and if someone click on that button, so some code need to be get execute to save that information into the database, and we need to give the confirmation to the end user. In such cases, we can use this button. So and other important thing what we have is this one. So what is this one is a div tag. So other important tag what we are using in our HTML is a div tag. So what is the purpose of a div tag here is so we can call we can the full form of that div tag is the division tag. So which it is representing division in the sense separation, right? So if I have the two or three paragraphs, I want to divide my web page into the particular sections. I want to divide my web page into particular sections. So for this top section, I want to have one div. For this left section, I want to have one div. For this right section, I want to have one div. And for this footer section, I want to have one div. And for this body section, I want to have one div. So that like in such a way, I want to divide my web page into particular sections. So that's where we can use this division tag. Okay.
Yes.
So the division tag will help us to divide the web page into particular divisions. Okay, and each and every division you can specify the length. Height will be like this, length will be, sorry, height will be like this, and width will be like this. You can specify the width and height, and accordingly that div will be managed. So such that is the importance of a div tag. And after that what we have is so we already seen this from H1 to H6 we have the header tags which represent the headings for our web page, and we do have the head tag which can take the title and script representations. And after that we already seen this H1 and iframe. Okay, so I also we have, so I represent the italic. So for example, if I have a text which in between, for example, I have a text which I want to represent in the form of italic character. So in Word also we have the bold and italic, right? Underline. So such kind of things if we want to do with the help of HTML, we can have an option which is called as italic tag, which can represent the same. And we have one important option which is called as iframe. So what is the use of the iframe here is I have a web page. Inside my web page, I want to display the another web page details.
Okay.
Inside my web page, I want to display the another website details. So for example, in most of the cases, we will have the website where we can see the video of a YouTube, right?
Yes.
So in
Yes.
such cases, that YouTube is the another website, right? So
Yes.
that's where they have the different website youtube.com. Okay,
Yes.
so how we can represent that YouTube video into our particular particular website is using this iframe concept. So if you right click on that particular YouTube video, you will see one option called embedded form. If you copy that
Yes.
information and place it in any of the web page, that video will automatically display. So if you see that code, you will see this iframe tag. Okay, so iframe
Okay.
tag will help us to represent the another web page information into your web page.
Okay.
So that's where we can use this iframe tag, and we have the image tag. So basically image tag will help us to represent the image into the web page. So we usually to provide the best look and feel for our website. Basically, we will display some kind of nice images. So
Yes.
if I want to display such kind of nice images into the web page, what we can do is we can make use of this image tag. Okay, so
Okay.
we can make use of this image tag. And another important tag what we have is input tag. So let's see this as an example. So this is kind of useful one. Let's see this example. So what is this input tag? Here is input. We have a type. So for this input, we have a type. If we want to place the button, we do have a direct button control, and at the same time we have a input type button as well, which represent the button. And if I want to place in my web page, I want to place a checkbox. Then input type, what I need to select is a checkbox. If I want to place the color picker for my web page, I have input type color. If I want to place the date picker of a web page on the web page, then I can put the input type as a date time, date time local, email as well, file. File means browse option. So if I want to give the upload option to the any of the users where I can browse my particular workbook or particular Word book, MS Word document. If I want to upload, I can give the option to the end users like a file. So where they can browse and upload the information. Okay, so and after that we have hidden which is not useful, and image input type image also there, month also there, which we can select the month, and number, password means if I use the password, that character will not be visible while typing. Okay, so that will be masked with the bullet or hashtag format. So that I can do it. And again we do have the radio button option, checkbox and radio button. So if I have the radio button, I can have an option to select one only. If I have a checkboxes, I can select the multiple options. Okay,
Yes.
so that is the one. And we do have the range, we do have the search button, we do have the submit, we do have a telephone, we do have the text, we do have a time. Like this we do have all kind of input types. Based on our need, we need to select our input type, and if you give the value or name for them, it will automatically show in our particular web page.
Yeah, Madan, these all are subtags under HTML.
Yes, these are all under, it's not the subtags, what we can call is HTML elements or
Okay.
HTML tags.
Okay.
So these are all even head also, even HTML also, even body also. These are all we will universally call as tag.
HTML element tags.
Okay, tag or attribute or element.
Okay.
Okay, so like this we have. And let's see what is another important. So this is the important li. Okay, so what is this li means? List item. So for example, I have the list of items where we can use the bullets, right? Bullets or number format. If I want
Yes.
to place some kind of pointed in while representing any kind of text, then what we can do is usually we can use the bullet option or where number options. Okay, if we want to represent that one, we can use this one. Okay, so how we can work with this is so we have the list item. What is this? So basically unordered list inside list item where list item 1, 2, sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, what is this? 3, 4 and 5. So unordered list. UL means unordered list. So OL means ordered list. Let's see how it will work. So it is giving the bullet items. So
Okay.
if I want to have the numbers here, instead of UL, if I make it as OL, OL represent unordered list. Sorry, ordered list. So ordered
Order.
means 1, 1, 2, 3, something like this. So if I execute this one, instead of bullets, I can able to see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Number list.
Okay, so that's how we can work with the ordered list and unordered list. Okay, so and another important thing what we have is so OL we already seen this one. So this paragraph. So paragraph in the sense, if I want to represent the, if you see our make measure having the document which represent the paragraphs. So each and for each and every paragraph, if you want to put the content, and next paragraph if you want to put the next paragraph if you want to put the another content, then we can make use of this paragraph tag. And
Yes.
what we have the other thing is this script tag. So I said in the HTML itself we can use the another language like JavaScript, jQuery or AngularJS to make it a dynamic web page. So if I
Okay.
want to write such kind of code in the HTML, I need to write that code in the section of script tag. In the script, in the section of script tag, we need to write that code. Let me repeat
Okay.
again. I told you while giving the introduction of a HTML, first I said HTML is a static web page useful for the static web page development, and later I added one more point saying that using the HTML with by taking the another language help like JavaScript, jQuery and AngularJS, we can make HTML also dynamic web page. Okay, if I want to write such kind of code in my HTML, where I can write that code is a script tag under the head section. Under the head section, under the head section, So inside the head section, we can write the script tag. So we
And
can write the script tag. So here, this section, whatever the code I want to write, I can write using the JavaScript or using the jQuery or AngularJS. Okay, so that code we can represent here. Instead of writing the code in C Sharp, in HTML itself, we can write the code inside the script tag.
can we write a C sharp language?
No, here C Sharp will not support. C Sharp is a server side language. Only
Okay.
client side languages only it will support, like JavaScript or VB script or jQuery, AngularJS. That all we can able to write it here. So we
Okay.
can't write Java or we can't write C Sharp because those are the server side languages.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the thing. And after that, we do have the important one is the style tag. The important one is the style tag. So the style tag also we can represent inside the head tag. Okay, so what is the use of this style tag is for my website, I want to format. So I want to apply some kind of format with rich color and with rich kind of styles. Means by using the cascading style sheet CSS, I can make my website more color. Okay,
More
if I want to do such kind of style options, then we can write our code in the style section.
okay.
Okay, so basically how we are working with the so if you see, we have written the web page like this. Will it have any kind of rich look and feel here? No, right? So
No.
it doesn't have any kind of color where we don't have any kind of heading, where we are not giving any kind of information about our website. So if I want to make it more colorful for which user can attract, then I can write some kind of styles using some kind of using the help of cascading style sheet format. Then we can write such code in between the style tag. Okay, so so that for that we can give one example here. So this is the, for example, we have H1 tag. Okay, for this I'm just typing as welcome. So for this welcome, if I want to write some kind of style, so where I can write such kind of style is for this we have option like here itself style, color I can mention, okay, which is blue. Okay, like this if I mention, then if I go and refresh my page, so I can get my welcome text with the blue color.
Okay.
Okay, so then this blue color will only applicable for my welcome tag only, but when this one use a H1 tag.
Okay.
Okay, so here instead of doing that one, if I write my code here saying that for H1, okay, for H1 color equal to blue, I write. And here I am removing this one. Let me give the example. I'm closing this one here. I'm just removing. or I can just comment it for some time. Okay, so here I have written like this, and I am going to write there is a need in my web page. In somewhere I want to write one more HTML tag, and for this also I want to use the blue color. Then again I need to write the style option here. Okay,
Okay.
and if I go and execute my page, I can get the values here, color. Instead of doing that one, so I'm repeating my code twice here and here itself. Okay.
Yes.
So instead of doing that one, if I write the code here in this particular style tag, I can remove my code from here. Okay. And at the same time, I can remove my code from here. Okay. And still, if I go and run the page, I can still see the color, right?
Yes.
So where we put that one under the style tag, we just put that for the H1, go and use the color blue only.
Okay.
Throughout this page, wherever you use this H1 tag, that all will colored as blue.
Okay.
Okay, that all will be colored as blue here. Okay, so we can reduce our code, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where our style tag will gonna help. And at the same time, if you write the styles inside here in the tag itself, previously how we write color equal to blue, something like this, or black or something like this. So this style is called as inline style. This style is called as the inline styles. So
Okay.
with the elements itself, if you write your style, that is called as inline style. Okay.
Okay.
So if you write the inline style, that is limited to this particular tag only. If I write inline tag, that will be limited to the particular tag only. So
Okay.
if I write the my style in the particular style option, style tag in that particular page, those will be called as embedded styles.
Embedded style.
Okay,
Okay.
those will be called as the embedded style. And if I have the if I write my style by taking the one additional page which is called as add, let's stop this one, go to add option and new item, and here select the style sheet which is called as style sheet 1, and I'm going to click on add button. So if I write my this line of code inside the particular .css file, something like this here, wherever in throughout this web page, throughout the website, if I want to represent that element instead of like doing like this, what I can do is I can write all my styles under the style.css page. Wherever I need, I can simply drag and drop here. Simply I can drag and drop. So inside this, what happened? Let's remove this. So even we no need to use. Inside this, what we can do is simply head tag. I can drag and drop my file here. Wherever
Yes.
throughout the web page. If I have one more sample2.html or sample3.html, for all we can use the same style sheet page. This type of style sheet is called as external style sheet. Okay, this kind of style sheet is called as the external style sheet. Embedded style sheet, sorry, inline style sheet, inline styling, embedded styling, and external styling. Inline
Okay.
styling, if I write the code, that will be limited to that particular tag. Embedded styling is limited to the particular web page, and this particular external style sheet will be applicable for entire website. Okay, so that's the difference between inline, embedded, and external.
Inline will be available for web page
No, no,
for one
inline
tag only.
one tag only. Embedded in the sense
Okay.
we can write the code in the style option here
For
before
web page.
for the web page only. Here something like style.
Yes, yes.
If you write that one, this is limited to the this web page only.
Okay.
Okay. So if I write my code in another page with the extension of .css, that will be applicable for all the pages.
Yes.
Okay. So only thing what we need to do is we need to drag and drop like this.
Yes.
So that is the importance of this style option.
Yes.
And we do have a table option which we can represent our information in the type of a table. Okay, so where we can represent the tr td so that we can work with the table tag. Let's take an example for easy one. So here how we can represent the table here is we can represent the table, and inside that if you want to represent the row we can represent the tr, and inside that if you want to represent the column which we can represent the td. Okay,
TD.
td will useful for the represent the column, tr will useful to represent the row, table is it's a total representation of a table. Okay, like this we
Okay.
can work with the table option, and these are all similar. So so let's go. Yeah, this is one more important thing is a video tag. So which will useful to represent the video into our web pages. Okay, let's go and see what are the other tags are available. So UL mean represent the underline. Okay, so track TR we already seen, TH table, the subscription, those are all that kind of not important. So we have the option P we already seen, param output option, gen label, NS iframe, HTML header. Okay, div tag, bold tag, italic tag. Yeah, those are all options we have, Muzaffar. So basically, the HTML elements or HTML tags will useful to represent the particular thing in the web page, where anchor tag will useful for the representation of a links, where image will useful for representation of a image, where paragraph will represent the paragraph, H1 to H6 will represent the headings, I tag, bold tag and italic tags, and underline tag, and we do have the table tag, we do have the list items, ordered list and unordered list, we have the input tags as well. So those are all the common elements which we are using in our websites.
Okay.
Okay, so so this is a kind of introduction. I haven't dig into more in HTML part. I'm going to I gave to the kind of idea where it will help to understand the ASP.NET.
Okay, ma'am.
So try to do practice on that particular